Alright, so this week's weekly research update is going to be two parts. So this part's going to be talking about all the other stuff besides audio, which is good because there's just, oh my god, there's so much from the 10th I don't understand. I don't understand why the 10th. But I mean, you guys have already heard one of the things I've put out, and there's another spot earlier, possibly a couple spots earlier in that hour-long recording that you hear that like high-pitched like weird voice. But we'll talk about that when we do the audio one. But I got this up to begin with because so when I say for the trail cams, the pond obviously is right here. You can see it. So I've got one here, the one I bought at Walmart. It's a super cheap Tasco, and then we have one up here. You know, I can't even figure out what brand this is. It's a much better camera though. And the nice thing is that one has a lock on it. Mine, cheap piece of crap, doesn't. Um, but I guess let's just go ahead and yeah, I've got a whole folder for my channel. So the reason I bring this up is we're just gonna go here and then I've got everything in here I want to go over. So the one at the pond has caught some stuff. So this is 621 to 642. I mean, not like Sasquatch stuff. It's caught like deer, you know, normal stuff. That was me setting it up on because I actually set this up. Oh no, that actually was the right time. So somehow the time was right. So this is 621 to 624. You can see me bending down to pick up my pack and get out of there. I believe that's the rump of a white-tailed deer, because it's got one here. You know, we've got. That's probably going to turn out to be a nice buck. This is actually the area where our friend puts his tree stand, so he'll be happy to know. We've already got bucks coming in. But it hasn't, and there's another deer. There I am again picking up. I don't know why it does this. Because I mean, it's only in the afternoon, so I'm not really sure why it goes white like that. If I'm just too close to the sensor or what. And that's when because the door swings open. But I have my phone here to show, hey, this is on. And then, so you can clearly see before I left, it's on because that's swung open. And this has happened now twice. So then I go back, 624 to current, because obviously that's when I'm up close to it. Then I leave, and then the next day we catch another deer. You know, deer must have been there somewhere. But this is my neighbor going up. You don't see a plate number or nothing, so I would never show that. But I want to bring this up because I realized just how slow and kind of crappy this. I mean, it's $30. I really shouldn't have expected much. But look at where his truck is here, right? Look, it doesn't catch it again until he's all the way over here. So, and he's not going fast. So that is a hell of a distance. That's about 150, 200 foot. I mean, the pond's way over here. So you could see when I was walking over there, like, you know, I've done videos where we walk over and look at this. That's a huge distance. So by the time it sees whatever it is and then captures, that's too slow. So I am going to have to look in other game cams. I don't have a lot of money right now to spend on this stuff. That's the frustrating part, sorry. So we're gonna have to look at that. I mean, it's just normal stuff, and like I said, I don't expect to catch anything. But like I said, whether I catch anything or not, every week you're gonna get an update because you're not 99% of the time you're not gonna catch anything. That's just how it is. And there we go. And then it swung. I was when the door swung open, and then I put it back, and I don't know why it went off here. Probably my guess is 11, 14, 11. Yeah, it would have been from when I put the door back. It caught that movement of the door. And that's it. That's it for that one. Now, for the one that's up here, I haven't caught jack shit on. Nothing. And the problem was, like, say this is the tree, right? It needed to be down, like, in here. And me being an idiot, I put it, like, way up here. So those first couple pictures that I did have on it were like, yeah, maybe if like Sasquatch is like 14 feet tall, I might get something, but I got nothing out of it. And we're going to watch a couple videos in this. I would normally just edit them in, but I want to do it this way. This way I can just show you. So you'll see in these, I mention that I think that when I came up before that there was something broken laying here, but I was wrong, and I want to point this out. It was this right here is what I thought was something that was broken laying there. Now there is something that we're gonna see that's broken shoved over there. They got like another little pile going. But this is what I thought was broken. It's not. This is actually a vine. It's a grapevine, I believe. Like a wild grapevine. It comes up and it just looked like it was something broke. I don't know how. I just haven't noticed it before walking up here. And then last time I was there on Tuesday, which had been what, the 24th, yeah. I happened to notice it. So I just want to point that out. Like I said, I'll always call myself out on this stuff too. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at these, and this way I can like. So I'm assuming comment as I need this to. This mic is working. So see, there it is. There. What I'm gonna do is just switch this SD card in the game cam. One thing I want to show, and now I don't see it. So I was up here once already when I put these in, and there was something leaning over here that was broke, and now it's gone. So never mind. I don't know exactly what that meant, but it was definitely leaning up against that tree, because I was specifically going to point it out when I was up here this time. It was like another broken tree, not quite that big, leaning up against it. Oh, maybe. Well, that looks like part of something, doesn't it? And that's snapped off. Like that little... I pointed that out because, and I'm glad you can see my cursor. So you can see right here, this is snapped off. Like it didn't break off. Like it looks like it was broken off. And then this is all tangled up together again. And it's making like another little something, you know what I mean? I mean, this could be natural too. I always want to say that. These can always be natural. But given the fact that we have all these other things that are up here, and the thing is, this is why I'm glad I do it this way. I'm gonna find out if I can get permission to have a couple people come out and help me, because it looks like they spread like from here. Like I can't go over any further, but you know, like if this was the map, it looks like they would spread from here all the way out, like, because there's things up here that are built, and if you remember, we found stuff over in here that was weird by the pond. So I have a feeling that they probably run all the way through here, and God knows what we'll find, you know what I mean? And I would like, there's a couple people that offered to come out and help. I just need to get permission from my mom's boyfriend, basically. But if I can do that, I'm going to have them come out. You know, ask them if they can be on the channel and stuff. And then we're going to go and we're going to look for any kind of structures, because I have a feeling we're going to find them. Because a lot of people that have, you know, done studies on these have talked about what's interesting about this stuff. And I want to bring this up before I continue playing this, is it seems like there is purpose to obviously all these. We don't know what they are, but what's interesting about these structures, you know, that we're finding, like this stuff and all the other things that I found, is that it seems like, one, there's a purpose to it, but more importantly, they've found that sites that they're like in a little cluster like that, and there can be up to like 10-15 different things. And the one researcher, I wish I could remember, he was on another podcast. I'll put it down below in the comments. But they were talking about they would see them build up over time over a season, and then they would be taken all back down. So now that I'm actually doing this, like before I was just putting out a recorder, but now I'm actually like hardcore researching this area. I'm wondering if we're going to see that here too, which would be really interesting if we could see this stuff get built up back in here. And then it just kind of, over time, it just disappears. Now, one of the things we're going to see is I built my own structure back there, and I put it by one of the game cams, and I want to see if it gets messed with. I mean, it's a very crude one. You can clearly tell that I did it. And plus, I have me on camera doing it, but that was one of the experiments I wanted to do. It's like that, so I can cross this off, create my own structure. I'd like to hang a glow stick near a trail cam. I've thought about making a cairn too, you know, like when you stack rocks like they do for trail markers. I thought about trying rock clacking. And then I thought about making a gifting station. And before anyone goes, no, don't give them food, I'm not. What I'm thinking about doing, and I'm glad this is up, is I thought about getting something, obviously not this because I don't drink, but getting something like a Crown Royal bag, you know, putting it on a nail to where it's up high enough that you'd have to be a decent height, you know, and then putting things down inside of it, so you'd have to have hands on top of it to reach down inside and be able to take them out and see if they take, not only if things are taken, but if things are left in return too. That would be interesting to me. And if you notice, I've been wearing blue just about every time I'm up there, because some people claim that the color blue, and I've heard this multiple times, that they like the color blue. So I wear blue shoes, and I wear my blue workout shoes, which are like hiking shoes, and I wear my blue Snoopy shirt every time I'm up there. Just who knows. But I'm gonna go ahead and let this play again and stop talking. Thing is new. Well, you can see that snapped off. That ain't natural. That's broke off. And also, if you see me skip forward, it's because the camera's going all crazy because I don't have anyone to help me hold the camera. It'd be interesting to start looking over audio on this stuff too. It's real quiet back here. Now, apparently this is dead, this game cam. Now look, I put it on test, put it on, now it's on. Now it was just on. I don't know. Should take it back to off. See how far up this can extend, because I keep forgetting that this selfie stick is also a tripod. I was hoping just be able to leave it like that and you could actually see me in there doing stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to get this adjusted. You know what, that ain't gonna work right there. As Hulk Hogan would say, that ain't gonna work for me, brother. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to hold this. I'm just gonna skip forward here. It's important. So it's on. You can see. We got. Also, I want to see if it has a brand on it. I don't. This is loose enough. Yeah, I don't know what brand this is. Actually, so if anybody knows, please comment down below, because I want to get another one of these. Because see, mine doesn't have this part. It doesn't have a lock on it, and I need a lock on mine. So let's just hit menu. Mode. Today's date. This will probably get edited out. Didn't get edited out, but it got skipped. Okay. I'm gonna skip it through this to see. And I just realized you just heard that click. That was the tripod part closed. Use that as a. So I'm gonna pause this. So when I build this, you'll see me do it, but I build it up against this tree. So it's, I mean, this is my phone, but I'm literally facing away from the camera, the game cam, and you can see why, because there's one here. There's one here. I don't know if this is one, but I do point that out because it's just this area where I've been catching all the audio, and we keep finding things like that one back here. And this, I mean, the root ball's not, there's no dirt on the root ball. I'm going to point that out later in one of these videos, but I'm trying to go back to see if there's like a better view of it. But there's no dirt on this, and it's wedged up here and all the way back, like more down here. Like it's wedged twice. And that's very weird to me. Yeah, see? There's no dirt on this root ball. And look, there's no hole. Like, how do you explain? Do you know how heavy this thing has to be? There's no way you could pick that up. And there's no hole. And there's no dirt on the... Like, I see that this is, like, kind of old and rotten, but you would think that there'd be roots sticking up here if it broke off. And there's not. There's not... No stump, no hole, no nothing. There's no dirt on it. Like it's like people just came in, picked it up, and shoved it in there. This is why this area is so bizarre to me. Like I don't know what this is, but it makes like a little blind. You could make a blind easily with this. Like if you just laid stuff against it, and considering how open this is, and there's trails back here for game, you could hide behind there and ambush something. And just yeah. So this is what the other one I said that looked weird, because it's like there is some broken off stuff there, and it's like laying down. So we'll go back, and I'll shut up. And some of this stuff could be natural, but it's like now it's just looking weird because that's broke off and laid over there. And this is broke off and laid here wedged. And just putting all this together with the audio, I mean, 99% of what you're going to experience is going to be normal shit. But when you have a place like that that had that much audio going on, you need to kind of be more open, because some of it's not going to be natural. And I think the other thing I want to point out too is not only do you need to be more open, but you got to look at the bigger picture too. If you're just finding stuff like this, yeah, there's a good chance it's probably natural. But when you're catching audio like we are and other stuff, you need to take that into consideration, because that's another piece of the puzzle. Like there's going to be multiple aspects to this, right? Like you're going to want, if you can find footprints, that'll help, hair, audio, if you can find things like this, and then you can put those all together. I mean, that's what you would do for real wildlife too. You need to find evidence of them feeding. If you can, scat, that would be amazing, because you can get DNA from that too. And it'll tell you what they're eating. Footprints, if you could find, God forbid we ever found something like they do out west where it looks like a nest site. Like this is all going to build a bigger, more accurate picture of what is or what isn't here, and what's going on and what isn't going on. So that's just something I wanted to point out, because it's important to do that. And I think a lot of people do that, and I think some people misidentify things. There are hoaxers. When I talked to the Center for Crypto, Brian Leach, when I talked to him, when he talked about that too, and I agree that there's probably people that aren't necessarily hoaxing on purpose, and they're not even really hoaxing, they're just misidentifying things. Now, there are going to be some people that are going to try to just bullshit you, you know what I mean? There's people that just want fame and fortune, so to speak, or whatever clout they can get online. But I think a lot of it's just genuine misidentification. So, I don't know. That was kind of like a little bit of a rant, but, all this is so important to take into consideration when you're doing this. And it is good to be, like I said, you should be skeptical of everything and everyone, including me, but be open-minded at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, even I'm being skeptical of the stuff that I'm catching, but I'm open-minded. And it's getting harder and harder for me to explain this stuff, especially now I'm looking at the spectrograms on things. And I'm like, well, this doesn't look like any of the animals around here. Because now, even if I can't get that animal recorded, what I'm doing is I'm going on YouTube and finding, like, states that have up, white-tailed deer sounds, or, black bear, whatever, and I can take them into Audacity, and then I can look at the spectrogram and compare them to what I have. And when they're not anything remotely alike, then there's a problem. You know what I mean? There's an enigma there. But we'll go ahead back to this. I'm not doing any wood knocks up here. One, I don't need to. And two, there's some birds now, but it really does feel like you're being watched. I have a feeling the direction I'm hoping it gets me on camera here too. Which actually, you know what, while we're up here, why don't we do something that I thought about doing? So, and I want to do this where the camera can see it, so we can see if it's messed with and what messes with it. So right there's the camera, right? I don't know if you can see it, but it's on that tree. And then back there's where I put the quad. So we're right by the tree line. So what I'd like to do, one of the experiments I want to do, is build my own structure. We're not going to do anything crazy, just like a little teepee style thing. But I want to see if I want to see if this, gets messed with. So we're just going to build it right here. So need to get some more because you can see now I'm doing this one. And I want to see if this means anything or if it gets messed with. This is why, even if I don't post them, I promise you, I always record me coming up and doing this when I'm up here. Now, I thought I saw movement over here. It honestly looked like something right in here dark moved. Like I caught it quick. And, this could just be me up in the woods and your eyes playing tricks on you, because sometimes you'll catch things and it's just a light. Like, you catch like a shadow or something and it's really just a shadow of a tree, just the way that you moved, just like that. Like, oh, something just came into my view, but it's like a form of pareidolia, right? That's when you see faces where they're not. It's because your brain still has that part of it when we were like hunter-gatherers, and like, from our primitive brain where we had to literally survive like Sasquatch, out, and you had to be hyper vigilant, and your spatial awareness had to be, a lot more than what it is now, because we rely on technology for so many things now that people have lost that ability. And honestly, now that I'm looking at this, it could have even been this. That looks like it's a dead log or something back here. But there is a pile of crap that looks like it was shoved over. We're going to go back in here one day regardless, and I'm going to get some more stuff filmed. But there's like a big... Let's see if we can go back. I promise you. I'm just going to do this because I zoom in. So it's like back behind the trees, because it's kind of like, I keep on the talk of my hands because I'm so used to doing it, but facing this way, like if you were over to the right, it kind of does this and then it dips back up. Like there's a bowl over here, right? And on that other side where it comes back up, because I said it comes down like this, it's like not really a valley, it's like a mini valley or a bowl, if you will. So when it comes back up, that's where this area is back here. There's like a whole pile of crap, just like, it just looks like a bulldozer came in and shoved it all in a pile. It's really weird. Like I said, this whole area back here is just bizarre. We'll skip back up to where it was. I'll just let my past self talk. I didn't hear anything though. That's where that big pile of shit's laying. There's plenty of places up here you could hide to watch. Plus, you're going to obviously be able to tell which one I made because it's going to be a lot crappier. It's not going to be like woven, like some of the stuff that we've seen. Plus, the other thing is, can't wait till we go to those photos and people are like, see, I told you. I make a joke about people being like, see, I told you he's making stuff. It's like, yeah, on camera. But what I was going to say is a lot of these, and I think back here they have it too, a lot of the ones that you find, they'll have like the bark stripped off them. And I recently found out that that's actually a great ape thing, that they'll eat the bark. I guess it's just another food source that, like, I think it was mountain gorillas. I've been reading a lot of stuff now on primates. And I'm going through and reading Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum's book, again, Sasquatch Legend Meets Science. And I'm going to get Grover. I bought Dr. Grover Krantz's book. I forget what that one was called, but this is like a full-time thing right now for me. So you'll find a lot of these things just have the bark stripped off them, and I am wondering if they eat the bark. Like, if other great apes do it, why wouldn't they? I mean, let's be real. When you're living in places like this, you're not always going to have food readily available, right? Back in here, I know morels will grow, and we found in one of the other, there's so many things I record. I'm assuming it gets. If I ever say this and it's not posted, just tell me. I assume it got posted, but I found down by the pond that there's May apples, and so they should be growing up around here too. That's another thing they could eat. As sad as it is, there's a bunch of box turtles out there. There's rabbits. There's all this other stuff. But then in the winter, they're not going to have a lot of this. So they're going to have to rely more on like bark to like any kinds of roots. Like if they could grab fish, deer, turkeys, like so it's going to be a rough life, right? Like you're going to have to fight for everything you get. So I do think that they're probably eating this bark. Is probably what it is. We're going to find out. Now, there's been no evidence of that yet, but unfortunately, I found out too that apparently only about 100 other people in the U.S. are scientists that are taking this seriously, and that's sad. So if anybody watches my stuff and you're a scientist, for the love of God, get involved. Even if it turns out to be nothing, we have to get real people. And I say real people as far as like, science is concerned. Because there's plenty of like people that are doing this that don't have science backgrounds that I do consider to be scientists. But we need to get more academia, so to speak, involved. And it's frustrating because I'm having still a hard time getting people involved with this. The thing that I'm running into right now is, and I'm sorry to rant a little bit and that this is going to be a little bit long on both videos, but there was a lot this week that happened. Is I'm finding out, because I have been talking to a bunch of people now, is on the Sasquatch side, people think that you're going to hoax because you're a scientist, so they don't trust, the establishment. And then the problem is on the establishment side, they all call you a pseudoscience. You're doing pseudoscience, and you become persona non grata. So in other words, like an unwanted person, like you're an outcast. And it's really freaking frustrating because, look, I don't have any skin in this game. It either exists or it doesn't. But we're never going to know for sure unless we take this seriously and look at it like another animal. Or a possible human. But you have to put the real research in and give it an honest chance before you can just, toss it to the side. And I don't understand. There was a good quote I saw today on, we're just going to let this play while I talk so it's not just a static image. There was a good video I saw today on, I can't think of his name. He's doing a restoration on the Patterson footage. I didn't even know that he had a channel. He works with MK Davis. But he had a quote from Ivan T. Sanderson, was taught, it's about that science is supposed to be open, and looking for the unknown, but that unfortunately now, if you try to look at the unknown, or you even question anything, that's exactly what happens. Like, you're an outcast now, and you're full of shit. And that's not scientific. And I thought, thank you, Ivan. You said that how many decades ago, and I'm still saying it, and I'm saying it now. Like, I don't understand it. So I'm hoping, if nothing else, I hope that I change that. I hope that's my contribution to this whole mystery is I bring the two sides together and be like, you know what? You gotta work, and it's true, you have to work together if you're gonna figure anything out. It's just, we're not gonna make any progress. The more we fight one another and more egos get involved, and things like that, the less we're actually gonna get accomplished in this field. Let me go. I should have another video. Let's see. 2-1. Oh, this was just me going to the second site and going. I was able to use the tripod here. I thought I had on. I thought the reason I brought this one up is I thought maybe not. I could have swore I took a video where I showed that it was on but it wasn't working. So I don't know what's going on with these cameras, but they're not, it's like they're not even taking pictures. So I don't know if somebody is messing with these or what. But yeah, that's most of what happened this week outside the audio stuff. I do have an opportunity now next year to do presentations on all this. So I have started working on a presentation for this. It's like my search for relic hominoids, and it kind of explains like what those are, what I'm doing, and and you know, like what I hope to accomplish and everything. So we'll see. You my guys might see me at events next year. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. No, I think that's it. I mean, besides the audio stuff, um, like I said, I've reached out to some people. I'm still waiting to hear back from some people. I want to give a shout out just because, like, I really appreciate what he's been doing. To Jeremiah again from the Bigfoot Society podcast. Like, he's got me in contact with some people that are supposedly looking over my audio. So I'm gonna try to get a hold of Scott Nelson. I did find his contact info, so we're gonna see if we can get him involved in some of this. I would like to have some answers. I don't mean like in the big picture. I'd like to have some answers though for what I have, because then we can start rolling out all the normal stuff. But I guess that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the audio section, and that one's going to probably be way longer than this because there's just so much crap, and I'm not even through it yet. Like, that's what's crazy. Like, for audio, I only have... So right now I have done... I'll have to fix these hours because that's not right. So yeah, see, date modified. Well, that says 623. Dang, these are the exported ones. But it's supposed to be from like 10 to like 3, I think. So 10 to 3 or 10 to 2 I have done. I gotta fix these hours because that's not right. I was putting, yeah, well, we'll explain an audio one, but I'm only off by an hour on each one. But there's just so much crap that I caught for that. So, I mean, this is... We're not gonna listen to all these because that would take far too long, but you get the idea. Like, there's just so much stuff, and I don't understand. But as always, thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the support you're giving me. And I guess I'll see you on audio one. Thanks.